Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 53 of Two Guys, Zero Planners, brought to you by us, because, well, we're bringing this episode to you whether you like it or not, but I guess you could turn it... Don't turn it off. Don't listen to me from this point forward. Wait. That's how podcasts work, though.
Yeah, that's one of the downsides, that you have to listen to people.
Yeah. How you doing, Urban? Since I completely train wrecked that intro.
Good. So I'm still basically waiting for my contract to run out, right? I have until end of September minus some holidays, and now I'm just doing some work, but not too much. And the rest of the family is on holiday already, so I'm home alone. And there isn't much going on, which is nice.
Just you, the fish, and the guinea pigs?
Yes.
So, since the last episode, what's the number up to?
We didn't talk about it last time. So Cliff Notes, there are now 11 guinea pigs, but maybe there's some explanation I should give how we got there. So I think 2-3 years ago, we got 2 male guinea pigs. They are nice and cute, but it was a bit boring just having 2. So beginning of this year, we actually thought, hey, let's find 2 baby guinea pigs, 2 males, and add them so that there's a bit more stuff happening and it's not as boring for us and the guinea pigs. It worked fine for a while, but then the 2 adults actually started fighting and we were never quite sure why. And then at some point we saw that there were 2 baby guinea pigs. And then of course we knew why, because one of the supposed males we added was actually a female.
Yeah, that'll do it.
Yeah, that day the fights got really bad, right? There was blood and biting and I got bitten too. And then we had to basically separate them. But it turns out guinea pigs female guinea pigs can get pregnant right after giving birth. So we had then obviously 2 pregnancies. So the male we kept with her, he was then neutered, but I guess it was too late. And then about 3 weeks ago, she gave birth again. And this time not to 2 guinea pigs like on the first time, but to 5. And that's how you end up with 11 guinea pigs. Now we have in the living room, there's currently the group with the babies and the 4 adults. And then downstairs, there's like what I'm calling the bachelors. So currently 2 males. And then sometime next week, I will have to add the 4 male babies to the group downstairs. Because it turns out, apparently, guinea pigs can in certain circumstances, be fertile after 3 weeks already. And 2 accidents are enough, right? We don't need more guinea pigs.
No, 11 is enough, at least for now.
Yeah, let's see. When everyone's back from holiday, maybe we can sort of find someone to take a few of them, because
right,
it's quite a lot of work and quite a lot of hay and vegetables and everything. But on the other hand, right, there's always something happening now, and there's always noise and stuff happening. So that we certainly achieved, that it's not boring anymore.
I mean, you kind of did that, especially with the guinea pigs outnumbering the humans, 2.5 to 1?
Yeah.
I mean, that's congrats, I guess. I mean, like you said, you were going for not boring, and I guess that definitely qualifies as not boring now.
Yeah, the biggest challenge is going on holidays, right? Because you always need to find someone who has to take care of them, and then maybe sort of the family has been on holiday for almost for 3 weeks already, right? And I didn't want to go too long, because if it's like I joined them for about 10 days, and that's basically borderline where you can sort of, someone just has to come and feed them, and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
Anything longer, and you have to start cleaning the cage or the enclosure and everything, and it gets a lot of work, and you have to start washing stuff, and I don't really want to make someone do that.
I wonder why. Wow. So, yeah, that's quite an update there.
Mm-hmm.
So, for the listeners, we have this section in our show doc that says Yvgenii's new videos since last episode. Yeah, that's blank. It shouldn't be blank much longer, though.
We should have recorded. You shouldn't have recorded, right? You should have.
I know. I couldn't think of a good idea to push it back, though. I thought about it for half a second, and I was like, no, I'm already awake. I'm going to be doing video work. We need to record a podcast. I need to not be lazy. I need to be a good boy. And yeah, here we are recording an episode. And right before this episode, I was actually recording a video for a Shown Design pen.
Nice. With a monarch nib, I guess.
Yep. Phil sent me his black anodized aluminum. I have too many European viewers. But he sent me that pen with the monarch nib on it. And I don't want to give it back. I have to give it back, but I don't want to give it back. Yeah, it's an amazing pen. It really is. If you have that kind of disposable income, at the very minimum, get that nib. At the very minimum, it is that good. After we're done recording today, I also plan on knocking out a video for a Pocket 6 with a medium selvage nib and a Franklin Christoph Model 66 with a Jim Rouse Sig nib. So I've got quite a busy day ahead of me, but at least that's going to be 3 videos. The weird thing I did, though, for these 3 is I did the voiceover work first. Normally, I try to record the audio and video at the same time. That way, it's just a little bit more fluid. Everything, just kind of has that live feel to it. This time around, I was like, okay, I'll script everything. I'll actually record the voiceovers, and then I'll go through and read along with the script while the voiceover is playing so I can get the audio into the camera just for markers. I'm still going to use the voiceovers that I did in Pro Tools, but that way I can get the markers and everything for when I go to edit everything, and it should come off looking fluid. And at least for the Monarch video, that's kind of how it felt. It feels like, if you can hear that in the background, that's my new robot vacuum emptying. We can talk about that in a second. But it feels like it actually went okay. So we'll see how the edit goes and see if it goes as smoothly for the other 2 videos. If it does, then thumbs up. Everything's great. If it doesn't, then I'll still script the videos, but then I'll go back to my old way of doing things where I've just got the script up on the computer screen while I'm recording and call it a day. Yeah, we'll see how that goes. So before next episode, there should at least be 3 videos to talk about.
Yeah, that's good.
Then I have to do more content and figure out what content I want to do. So then there's that. I also, at some point, need to walk the dogs today. And I don't want to, because it is currently 102 degrees in freedom units. Let me convert that really quick over to normal units.
Okay, yeah, that's a lot. 39 Celsius.
Yeah, and it feels like 42 Celsius, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, that's just hot and a bit hotter, so I don't know.
Yesterday, it actually got up to 42 Celsius with a feels like 43 Celsius. Yeah, so at some point, I have to take them to go do a thing, and I know they're not looking forward to it, and I'm not looking forward to it either, because right now, it is a nice, comfortable 73 degrees in my apartment. Once again, that's 73 in freedom units, not sensible units.
And so that's the part I'm not looking forward to when I join the family in Greece, because then we'll stay at my in-laws' summer house by the sea, and then it's like without AC and at night, and Sundays, let me check, it would be 29 Celsius, so 84.
Oh, that's not bad.
That lowest temperature.
Oh, okay. So, if it gets hotter from there, then yes, that's bad.
Yeah, it gets hotter. It's like, I don't know, a few degrees hotter, but then it's not cooling down at all at night. But let's see. At least we're by the sea, so.
Yeah, I used to live close to the Mediterranean as a kid. It's interesting. It is interesting for sure. Because you expect the evenings to cool off, and it's like, no. You're right by a big body of water. That big body of water is going to keep enough humidity in there to keep the temperature up. Have fun with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's been a day. It's been a few weeks. I got a new robot vacuum. Did we talk about how the old one died?
No, I don't think we talked about vacuum
cleaners. So first and foremost, I like to name my robot Schmitty because it seems funny, stuck up, and snobbish. So Schmitty 1 was a good robot vacuum for 2.5 years until my dogs left a unexpected present for Schmitty while I was at work. Now, he was a dumb robot vacuum, so he didn't have any of the crash cameras or anything like that where he would have accident avoidance.
Mm-hmm.
So he made the accident of running over my dog's accident while I was at work.
Yes, there's videos of that stuff. Right.
Well, luckily I had relegated Schmitty to only cleaning the hardwood floor. So I checked my security cameras while I was at work, and I noticed that, okay, sure, my dogs left a package on the floor. And it was after Schmitty's cleaning cycle. So I was like, okay, maybe it's a fresh package and nothing's happened. I'll just go home, clean it up, everything's fine. I get home, and what I saw in the security camera was the leftovers because the accident happened before the cleaning cycle.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine, if you will, somebody taking a Snickers or a Mars bar, getting it to melting point, and then just running it, laying flat 25 feet across your floor from the bedroom door to the front door.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what happens.
I think that was actually how I burned my last hour of PTO remaining for the year, if I recall correctly. I had to spend an additional hour on my lunch break on my hands and knees, hand scrubbing a floor.
Nice.
And I opened up Schmitty 1 to see if he was recoverable. No. It was a war zone in there. It was ugly. So I put 2 trash bags together and I unceremoniously put him in and disposed of him at the nearest place for lithium-ion batteried utensils, and just explained to them, you don't want to open the bags, just send it off. They nodded and sent Schmitty off.
Probably not the first time for them.
Yeah, probably not. It was bad. So I tell myself and I tell my coworkers, yeah, I think I'm not going to get a new robot vacuum. That was too traumatizing for me, because it kind of was. And then fast forward to a couple weeks ago, and I'm looking through my credit cards and everything, just trying to figure out my finances before student loan payments come due. And for the first time since I got an Amazon Visa card, I finally looked at my reward points. I use that credit card for everything I buy from Amazon. So all of my Fuji cameras, my graphics card, my computer parts. I had never once looked at how many points I had racked up. I had like $650, $700 in points just laying there. So I'm like, okay, what am I going to do with these? And then my YouTube algorithm overlords decide that they're going to show me a video from a channel called Vacuum Wars. I'm like, it is time. I will buy another Schmitty. So I traded in about, how many? Like $500 worth of points for this one. And Schmitty 2 is doing Schmitty things now.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm very creative, just naming him Schmitty 2.
I mean, for us, the problem is, of course, that there's we would need a few of them because we have multiple stories here. So plus with kids, right, there's always stuff everywhere, and I'm not sure it would even work. But
yeah, even though this one is a lot smarter than the original Schmitty, I did do a setup for failure test where I toss socks at random on the floor. It avoided the first 2 and failed on the third.
Mm-hmm.
So it tried, but that definitely guaranteed that I will only ever run this robot when I am home. Because it's not that I don't trust the robot. I don't trust my dogs to not set the robot up for failure. Yeah. So it's my household has grown by 1 robot, whereas yours has grown by 5 guinea pigs.
Yes. Your house might be cleaner, and mine is definitely not.
It will definitely stay cleaner with my particular types of OCD. I definitely If I could run him all day, every day, including overnight when my neighbors would want to hate me, I would.
Mhm.
I love clean. I love clean. It's an amazing thing. So yeah, that's what I've been up to. No videos, new robot vacuum, filming 3 videos. And working a lot.
Yeah.
A lot. The overtime is not happening anymore though. That the need for the overtime has gone away. So I think Baldur's Gate 3. I did buy that.
Mhm.
I've been playing it. I did not read the reviews before I bought it. And when I got to the character creation screen, because I was just clicking yes through all the, do you want to allow this? Do you want to do this? Do you want to do that? I didn't realize that one of the things I blew past was adult content and nudity.
Mhm.
So I'm doing the character creation and I have to pick out what dick my dwarf has.
Well,
I mean, you don't. I guess I shouldn't be shocked, but I've played Dungeons and Dragons quite a bit, and never in all the times I've ever played Dungeons and Dragons, never have I gone as far as to pick the genitalia of my character. I just assumed generic dwarf dick. There you go. But no. I actually had to pick one. They have options.
yeah, and someone had to design them, right?
Yeah. I'm sitting there going, I can't tell if this game is legitimate now or just smut. Although it's playing very nicely. I will say having a RTX 4090 does allow me to get a consistent 60 frames a second on ultra settings. So I am very happy. 4K 60 Ultra is just amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So that is all my nerd stuff. Obviously, not a lot of it, if any of it, is pen related. Did we talk about the fact? Have we ever actually talked about the fact that I have an M805 now?
We might have mentioned it.
Okay, because I know I haven't done a video on it yet. I also haven't done a video on the Stormtrooper yet. So there are going to be 2 Pelican videos at some point.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, why not? They exist, so why not? And the M805 is a Stressman, so it's beautiful.
My only Pelican right now is a €8 Pelican Twist.
Pelican Twist, okay.
Yeah, it's one of those school pens.
Ah, okay. Yeah, I did in other news, I made good on that comment I made during the last episode. I did put the Namiki up for either 500 cash or cash trade combination. So if anyone has a Pelican and some cash that they would want to trade up for Namiki Nippon art, let me know.
I still have a few pens on my for sale list, but whoever listens to this can look it up in the show notes, I guess.
Which, speaking of that, let's go ahead and pivot to actual pen talk, which, Urban, you actually get to do quite a bit of talking on this one. So let's go ahead and go through some stuff.
Yeah, I think the most interesting here is, I think, Fountain Pen Companion related. So like I said, I'm not really working all that much anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So I have time to do other stuff during working hours. So instead of just sitting there and watching YouTube videos, I decided to work a bit on FPC again.
Okay.
Various smaller things. But I think the biggest interesting one is that you can now, so everyone with an account, they can now add or edit a description for brands, ink brands and actual inks. And it has sort of a history of who edited what and what changed. So Wikipedia style, I guess.
Okay.
So that was fun. I guess there is now a bit of a debate going on about style of those, right? Do you just, I mean, there's like the Bay State Blue one where someone just had fun, or the Diamine Red Dragon. But yeah, it's nice. Maybe sort of as an sort of that it's all already listing all the reviews out there on various sites. But I thought it might be nice to actually have something on the site actually to do
Okay.
And then there's fun, like the description of Noodler started out as one sentence: "Hey, don't buy this ink from this guy," essentially. And then it ended. There was sort of a back and forth. Yeah, it's fun to go through the history and see how it evolved from a more negative style to a, I don't know if it's supposedly neutral description of the brand.
I'm sorry, I clicked on Bay State Blue. I clicked on the link that we've got for Bay State Blue in the show notes. If hell had a signature ink, it'd be Bay State Blue. If you need a corrosion-inducing acid that would make aliens proud and happens to be blue, look no further. That is an amazing description of that ink.
Yeah, I mean, Red Dragon also isn't bad.
Oh my goodness. Oh, okay. If you kill a dragon at sea level, its blood is almost orange. To get the diamine red dragon-like color, you need to kill the dragon at, I'm not even going to try to pronounce that. Okay, we're done. Whoa, okay. They had way too much fun. They had way too much fun with this description.
Jungfrau Joch, that's a mountain in the Alps.
How do you pronounce that again?
Jungfrau Joch.
Okay. Rough translation into English?
Jungfrau is virgin. Joch, oof, I don't even know. That's kind of...
Okay.
I don't know.
That's a word.
Yeah.
That is a word. Okay.
Well, it's the name of the mountain, essentially, right?
Yeah. It just goes to show I personally am not able to do foreign words, apparently. Circling back to the Noodlers thing you were talking about. Reading through it, I would say that...
it started out as, I mean, don't. If you have a choice, don't, is what it started out. And now it ended up being a bit longer, I guess.
Yeah, let me look at the first revision. I mean, don't. If you have a choice, don't. I mean, that user is not wrong. Whoever put that first history for Noodlers was not wrong. That is a valid history for that brand. Oh my God. I'm sorry. This is funny. Okay. Before I get lost down this rabbit hole, let's go over some of the other updates for FPC.
Yeah, the other ones aren't that interesting. So the one that I essentially built for me is basically what's apparently called magic login links. So on my phone, somehow Apple doesn't want to update the password I had stored on it for FPC. So whenever it logs me out, I can't log in again because the password is old and doesn't work anymore. So I just added a feature where you can basically just supply the email address and you get an email with a link to log you in again. Because essentially it's not less secure than the current system because you can always use the I forgot my password feature, right? So it's just shortening that a bit. And some smaller things. And then, yeah, I guess the cliffhanger from last time is that I actually received the Leonardo. Yeah, so I don't fully remember anymore where we were last time.
I don't either, so let's just start from wherever we want to.
Right, so it ended up at customs and they said, hey, you need to fill out this online customs declaration. You sort of pay and then we can send it onward to you. But this customs, digital customs declaration is, of course, a government website. And they are not great. And you need to fill out various codes and random technical jargon that is hard to understand. So it's really a guessing game.
Right.
I did my best. And then apparently the last step is to actually print it out, sign it, and then scan it in again, send it via email to the customs office. So it's like 80% automated, but in the end, you still need to do it manually and analog. I don't know why, but that's how it is. And then, interestingly, and quite surprisingly to me, the customs officer who was handling it was super helpful. He actually called me back on the phone and said, yeah, I mean, you can do it like that, but here I would have some suggestions, right? So he essentially told me how to fix it. And hey, here change this number to that, and here this change it to that. And then I did that basically on the printout. I crossed out some numbers and letters and wrote in the right ones and scanned it in again and sent it to him. And then it was all good, apparently. That is how this supposedly streamlining of a process works, right? So the customs officers are not allowed anymore. You can't go there anymore and tell them stuff and they do it for you. Instead, you have to use this online tool. But in the end, they just tell you what to do there anyway. And it's just, I don't know, more complex.
It's the old system, but with extra steps.
Exactly, yeah.
Wow. That is something fun. Did they actually let you see the original customs declaration form that I filled out for it?
I'm not sure. I was happy that I got the pen, so I didn't really check anymore. So
that's fair enough. I was kind of curious to see how the United States Postal Service managed to completely bungle something that was pretty straightforward, or at least I thought was pretty straightforward. Although definitely glad to hear that it got there safe. And how are you liking it?
It's really nice. I really enjoy that pen. The nib is also great, and of course the material is really pretty. So I'm not regretting it, although it took a bit longer to get here.
Now, fun fact, that is the second housing on that pen. It's the same nib that came with it, but it's the second housing.
That's one of those cracked Java nibs. Okay.
Yeah, I had just finished using that pen and I was going to clean it out. And I pulled the housing for one reason or another. And I'm like, wait a second. That explains why I was getting some weird ink leakage in places I wasn't expecting to. Mm-hmm. So I emailed Figboot and I was like, hey, this is going on. Do you by any chance have just a random Leonardo nib lying around? And sure enough, he did. So he sent me a replacement nib out. I don't know where the replacement nib went, but yeah, I just ended up putting my housing into, or my nib into that housing and then putting that housing into the pen. And now you have it. Mm-hmm. So definitely glad it ended up in good hands, finally. Between that and the whole train wreck that was getting the 3 pens from Phil. And then...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if we talked about it on the show, but you had your conversation in the Discord, yeah.
I can't recall if we talked about it or not, so I'll just give a brief overview. Phil sent me out 4 ink samples and 3 pens and a horrible dad joke. And one of these is completely non-replaceable. The Franklin Christoph Model 66 has a Jim Rouse Sig nib. People don't give those up anymore because, well, you can't get them anymore. Unfortunately, Jim passed away. So when the Postal Service marked the box as delivered, and it was definitely not delivered to me, we started freaking out, rightfully so.
Yeah.
It turns out my post office isn't as much a post office as it is a postal hub. So I really don't have a dedicated postmaster at my local office. I didn't know that until Phil's postmaster was looking into the issue and going, yeah, we're trying. I'm trying the best I can to get them to actually do something. We end up having to file an online lost package form like 5 or 6 times before it finally registers in their system that we did it. They finished their investigation within 24 hours saying, oh yeah, we did it. How do you like the job we did? Well, problem number 1, you didn't do anything. You said you were going to contact me. You didn't do that. You said you were going to give me the details of your investigation. You didn't do that. And you're asking me how satisfied I am with the work you've done. Well, you did no work, so I can't give you an honest answer there, except for the fact that I'm not satisfied, you assholes. So fast forward 2 additional weeks. So we'd already been messing with this, trying to go back and forth with the post office. Well, post offices for about, a week and a half, 2 weeks already at that point. And then 2 weeks later, I opened my front door on my way to work, and there is a box sitting on my doorstep with a note that reads, hopefully what was inside is not really valuable or perishable because it's been sitting in my box while I've been on vacation for the last 3 weeks.
Well, at least that person was nice enough to do that, right?
Yes, to that unnamed neighbor, thank you. I appreciate it. It does not look like they opened the box at all. So I also appreciate the fact that you did not rifle through my mail. But yeah, the part that pisses me off the most about it, and I'm not editing my words because it really is that maddening, is they would have known that they misdelivered if they had just sent a mail carrier or somebody up to my apartment, had them open the communal mailboxes and check the addresses on the packages and make sure that the parcel key got into the right mailbox. All they had to do was 40 minutes worth of work, including the round trip from the hub to my address and back to the hub. And it would have been done 3 weeks sooner.
I guess you can only do that if you have the people and the money to do it, right? From what I hear, maybe that's not the case anymore, right?
Yeah, there's a good video from a YouTuber called Knowing Better about the Postal Service that goes into quite a few of the problems we have now and how it's kind of just beyond stupid how we run our postal service at this point. So yeah, I do not have the expertise to go into why our postal service sucks, but our government has done it to us. And that's probably the best I can say there. Our postal service used to be okay. And then government intervention. So there you go. That being said, we're not going into my political beliefs or yours or anyone else's, because yes, we can talk about nibs. We can talk about how much stupid policies suck, but you never mention religion or politics at the dinner table or the podcast, unless that's what your podcast is about.
Yeah. Although I must admit, I managed, so I had a pen lost and it only traveled 200 kilometers, right?
Right.
It didn't even leave the state, but it still disappeared. So sometimes that's just happening, right? And that's why when I sold all those pens recently, I always told anyone, yeah, you could go with uninsured and untracked, but I would not recommend it.
And that is one good thing. For the most part, you have to really cheap out to not get tracking on a package through the postal service. In some cases, shipping options without tracking are actually more expensive than the shipping options with tracking.
Mm-hmm.
So it is a good thing, at least, that is included for the most part on most of our services. But yeah, when these pens get sent back to Phil, they are going FedEx.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was a discussion on Slack at about the time that all this happened about people's experiences, horrible experiences with FedEx, about how FedEx was the worst thing ever. I've never had FedEx misplace a package, ever. USPS, they misplace a package probably 5-10 times a year.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm using FedEx to send these pens back to Phil because at least I can trust them. And I don't have to panic about whether or not Phil is going to actually get his pens back, which, yeah, we've already lost them once. I don't want to lose them again.
Yeah, certainly, yeah.
Oh, man. I think we should probably go ahead and save the rest of the pens for the next one.
Mm-hmm.
And then we can probably also talk about the videos and how this whole change up and how I'm recording things actually went out.
Mm-hmm. Sounds good.
Yeah. Well, good talking to you as always. For the people listening, we do appreciate it as always. I feel like I should say something more prolific there, but I honestly don't know what to say. So we'll wrap it up here and we'll see you in the next one.
See you next time. Bye-bye.